I've always liked driving at night. There's something about the empty highways, the way the darkness presses in just outside the headlights, that makes me feel cut off from everything else. It's quiet, isolated, almost safe in a strange way. Some people hate that feeling, the endless dark, the thought that if something went wrong, no one would be around to help. But I've always leaned into it. For me, late night drives are the closest thing to peace I get. Or at least, that's how it used to be. Now, I can't get behind the wheel after midnight without feeling like I'm inviting something in, something that watches, something that waits. But I'll start at the beginning. I was cutting across Nevada on Highway 160, a long, empty stretch that doesn't see much traffic at that hour. I'd left Vegas behind a couple of hours earlier, heading home after visiting an old friend. The road was dead quiet, not another pair of headlights in sight. My radio had lost all the major stations, drifting in and out of static, so I let it play softly in the background, just enough to keep me company. The desert stretched out on either side of me, miles of open sand and scrub brush, flat under the stars. Every so often, a gust of wind would hit the car, rattling it just enough to break the silence. I wasn't tired, exactly, but I felt that late-night fog that comes from driving too long. My eyes burned a little, and I was half considering pulling over at the next gas station, grabbing some coffee, maybe taking a short nap. That's when I saw him. At first, I thought it was an animal staggering onto the road. A deer, maybe, or a coyote. Not an animal, a man. He came stumbling out of the brush barefoot, shirtless, blood streaking down one side of his face. His jeans were shredded at the knees, his chest heaving like he'd been running for miles. He waved his arms, staggered forward, nearly collapsed in the middle of the lane. My heart kicked up, and I swerved to the shoulder, braking hard. Jesus Christ, I muttered, rolling down the window. He staggered toward the car, eyes wide, pupils huge. His voice cracked when he spoke. Please, please just drive. He's out there. He's coming. Everything in me screamed that this was wrong. This wasn't just some drunk or lost hiker. The way he said it, "He's coming," sent a cold shiver straight down my spine. But I couldn't just leave him there. I unlocked the passenger door. Get in. He practically collapsed into the seat, trembling so badly he couldn't get the door shut. I reached over and slammed it for him, then pulled back onto the highway. For a while, we didn't talk. He just sat there, hunched forward, clutching my jacket like it was a lifeline, staring out the rear window every few seconds. His breathing filled the car, jagged, uneven. I glanced at him in the glow of the dash lights. His feet were shredded, cut open, blistered, caked in dirt, like he'd been walking barefoot across broken glass for days. But when I thought back, I remembered. There hadn't been any blood on the road where I picked him up. His hands shook in his lap. And that's when I noticed his nails. Not chipped, not dirty, carved into. Each fingernail had a tiny, precise symbol etched into it. Circles, lines, crosses. Like he'd taken a pin or a needle and scratched them into himself. I tried to keep my voice steady. You want me to call someone? Police? Ambulance? No, he rasped. His eyes didn't leave the back window. Just drive. Don't stop. I swallowed. What's your name? He didn't answer right away. When he finally spoke, his voice was flat, almost mechanical. Doesn't matter. The words sent another ripple of unease through me. Something wasn't right. None of this added up. 10 minutes passed. The desert stretched endlessly ahead of us, my headlights cutting tunnels into the black. The man hadn't moved. I thought maybe he'd fallen asleep, but then the silence broke. Not from him, from my radio. The CB unit under my dash crackled to life. Unit 73, do not engage. The subject is active. Repeat, do not engage. I froze. My hands tightened on the wheel. Nobody calls me Unit 73. Hell, I wasn't even a trucker, and I hadn't touched the CB all night. I turned to look at him, and that's when I saw it. He was smiling, not wide, not obvious, just the faintest curl of his lips, like he knew something I didn't. My stomach flipped. I turned back to the road, trying to focus, my pulse hammering in my throat. When I spotted a rest stop sign ahead, I made up my mind. I needed to get out of the car, even for a few minutes. Clear my head. I pulled off the exit, rolling into a dimly lit lot with 2 flickering streetlights and a bathroom that looked abandoned. No cameras, no vending machines, just concrete and shadows. I put the car in park. "Gotta take a leak," I muttered. His head snapped toward me. "Why are we stopping?" "Because I need to," I forced a laugh. 2 minutes. I didn't wait for him to answer. I got out quickly, pulling my phone from my pocket. I stepped away from the car, pretending to head for the bathroom. But really, I was trying to get a signal. 1 bar. I called my wife. Straight to voicemail. Tried again. Nothing. Weird. That's when I saw it. On the side of my car, smeared into the dust, was a handprint. But not blood. Black, tar-like, still dripping. The knife. I froze, my throat tightening. The night air felt colder now, sharper. I turned back to the car. He was sitting perfectly still in the passenger seat, but his hand was resting on something. A knife. Small, thin, balanced on his thigh like it had always belonged there. When I yanked open the door, he didn't flinch, didn't move, just looked at me with that faint smile. "You think I was running from someone?" he said softly. I stared at the blade, my chest heaving. He leaned closer, whispering, "I was waiting for someone like you, someone who wouldn't ask questions." I could barely breathe. "What the hell are you talking about?" That's when he reached into his pocket and pulled out something. A folded piece of paper. He set it gently on the dashboard. A photo. My wife, my daughter, taken from inside our house. The world tilted sideways. My vision tunneled. I nearly blacked out right there. He grinned wider. "You're predictable, Alan. Always stop to help. Always the good guy." I slammed the brakes, reaching for the glove compartment. Inside was a flare gun I kept for emergencies. He tilted his head, calm as ever. "Too late. They're already at your house. I'm just the delivery guy." I fired. The flare screamed across the cabin, missed his chest by inches, and shattered the passenger window in a shower of sparks. He didn't scream, didn't even hesitate. He just slipped out the door and vanished into the desert, sprinting like an animal. I floored it, tires spitting gravel. My hands shook so badly I could barely keep the car straight. I didn't stop until I hit a way station with working lights and a phone line. The cops showed up within an hour. I told them everything, gave them my dash cam, described the man. But when they played the footage back, there was no hitchhiker, just me, driving alone, talking to myself, pulling over at an empty rest stop, firing a flare gun at nothing. The officer looked at me carefully. "You sure you're all right, Alan?" But I wasn't crazy. The photo was real. I showed them. My wife and daughter, smiling in our living room. They checked the house. When they got there, my family was gone. No forced entry, no ransom note, no bodies. Just the same black tar handprint, smeared across the front door. 4 months later. It's been 4 months. No leads, no calls, no answers. Sometimes, late at night, the CB crackles to life. Unit 73. Cargo received. I shut it off, but it always comes back. This isn't about helping the wrong person. It's about being chosen. Because monsters don't hunt the weak. They hunt the good.